What's up? What's happening? This is your commissioner back at it again. I want to say this is what year. I've been running this league now since I think ninth grade, eighth, ninth grade of high school. Pretty much the same, at least the original five. We've added quite a few. At least original six, added a few over the years. But this consistent group, I think, is year three now.
Yeah, that's what I
Most of
thought.
the group 5, 6 years now. But we're back at it again, boys. I mean, opening night tomorrow, Thursday, opening day NFL. I mean, who would have thought we're back here already? We had the draft the other night, loved it. It was a good time. Uh, not too many not controversial, but not too many big surprisers. I mean, a couple guys fell. They went to the same fucking kid, same guy. I feel like got two end of the draft kind of steals. Myself included, pass up on them, but we'll see. We'll talk about it. This show, we only got 35, 40 minutes. We're going to talk about the draft in general. We'll talk about the teams. We'll, maybe week one here. We can give a prediction of how the league turns out. Maybe LB and I will give a 1 through 12, uh, who finishes where. But we'll go. That's how we'll start. LB, how you want to start it? Any opening statement from you?
I'm trying to grab it right now. The finish, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
your or the finish draft recap, league info, budget. I can't find it now. Power rankings. Okay. Yeah, the power rankings went kind of wild. ESPN does. I'm not sure how they do it, but I started fourth, and a team I really like, who I feel sniped me quite a bit, Red Lot 7A, is number one. And a team I thought a little bit weaker, made a couple stretches, all too well, finished 12th. So we will see how it shakes out. I think the tops, I think the first ones, I think the first place finisher's accurate. I think the last place finisher's close. And I'm fourth, so I'm happy with that. We'll
Who
see
was
how it
number
plays
one?
out. Red Lot 7A is projected to finish first.
All right, Mike Germ. Who's two?
Two is Camdy Man,
Cam three.
Stone Cold Stunners.
Warren. Then you.
And
Who's
me, then the
five?
fantasy, I cut it off. The
Tyler.
fantasy.
Fantasy football team.
Then Joey, Boner and Sweatpants.
Joey.
I'm assuming Carter, all these nuts.
Yep. Carter.
Marianne's favorite.
That's Mark Germ.
Team May,
Jake May.
Andrews Jackson,
That's JD. Me.
the Chief,
Chief and Paul.
and Paul finished last.
So that's ESPN standings. Post draft results. So, I wrote that down. Maybe I'll keep that on hand here, and see how that finishes at the end of the year. Um, Obviously, Jake May had number one pick. He takes CMC. No surprise there. I mean, I feel like that was a given. You went to, I believe you took Hill.
So Tyreek Hill at two.
Yeah. First round. I mean, any surprises to you?
Um, Maybe Jonathan Taylor eighth. I don't
Okay.
know that that's right or wrong.
Okay.
Um, it seems he was the first name where I was like, oh, okay. You and Garrett Wilson. Justin Jefferson fell quite a bit. He's a number one receiver last year. Now he's 10th, but that
That
has a
was
lot to do with quarterback, I think.
that was my biggest surprise round one
Yeah.
was Justin Jefferson falling to 10. I pass on him at 9. It was just a preference to me. I kind of felt Paul was in my ear a little bit saying, I think Justin Jefferson might fall to you. I was kind of iffy. I didn't know if he would or not. I was hoping Jamar Chase would fall to me, but ultimately I didn't think either of those would fall to me. And I was honest to God I was set on Garrett Wilson at 9. I kind of locked that in, and when he was still there, I was kind of doing all my mocks all last month, taking him, so I stuck with it. Even though Jefferson was there, don't love the quarterback for him, Sam Darnold, and then who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. So he was just too big. He's a dog. He's fucking unbelievable.
He's going to get 10 catches a game, probably 15
Yeah.
targets.
He's unbelievable. I kind of am banking and feel like myself at 9. Just Aaron Rodgers' big year with the Jets. I think they're going to be pretty good. Um, and so I was like, he's going to be the main guy. So I went with him.
Yeah.
But I pass on Justin Jefferson and Mark got him at 10, which leads me to then again in round 2, Mark gets AJ Brown at 15.
He's a really nice start with Justin Jefferson and then
Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
He does not lack at receivers. I was a little curious about Olave. I think I'd take AJ Brown over Olave. I think I'd take AJ Brown over actually probably that Jonathan Taylor spot. I take AJ Brown. Then everyone slots down a position. Gibbs still stuck with the first. Barkley at the 11 spot. I like Barkley on that new offense. I think they're going to use him a lot. But
I do too. I do as well.
yeah,
I thought
AJ
about him at 10 or 9. I thought about Garrett Wilson or Barkley there at 9, honestly.
for sure. Nothing crazy. The second round, maybe I don't really see anything that sticks out. I like ETN. I like Kyron Williams, but I think he just did so well last year. He's kind of like
Do you like the Chief back-to-back RB with Gibbs at 12, Kyron at 13?
he had two pass catching running backs. So
Yeah.
if they do what they did last year, he's in really good shape.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but
biggest surprise for me in round 2 was obviously AJ Brown falling to Mark at 15, like,
yeah,
in round 2 that late. If he was there coming to me, I was probably gonna stack Garrett Wilson and AJ Brown, but he went right before me, so that's when I geared up towards ETN. I was between ETN and Pacheco. I don't know. I just kind of went with ETN. Yeah, but nothing really surprises me. Love Mike's pick of Marvin Harrison.
well, I was going to say Marvin Harrison was slipping to the first round in a few drafts, and I
Yeah,
don't
I
love him in the
noticed.
first because
Yeah,
I think he's going to take a couple games to get acclimated. But
I
I mean,
agree.
you give
I,
up 4 games, that's a 30-year season. But if you get him at 19th overall, you can sacrifice that, especially
100%.
especially when you have Brees Hall the carrying the load for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm interested to see with Paul with Devontae Adams. I like Devontae Adams. Obviously, he's one of the best wideouts in the game, but he's just another one. The quarterback is just he's a guy that you would love to see with a good QB back again, like he had with Rodgers. I mean, he's just the last few years he chased the money, went to Oakland, and just
And now hates it there from what
yeah, you just
all the
don't have the
reports
guy.
are.
I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I sort of went with the older running backs. I got Kamara at 23, and it came back with Josh Jacobs at 26.
I like Kamara this year. I think he's gonna have a nice bounce back. I really do. I've been kind of trying to get him. I don't know. I did that sleeper app a lot, mock drafting, and it's ESPN rankings are completely different than
They're so different than
NFL.
Sleeper. You couldn't get more different.
Yeah, they're so different. In that case, Kamara was falling to me a lot, and in literally every round 3 mock that I did, he was coming back to me on the 9th pick in round 3.
Hmm.
I was like, damn, if I can get him there, that's going to be awesome. And then he goes end of round 2,
Yeah.
which I don't blame you. I really like him. It's just it's so weird seeing those different. Even with A Chain going in round 3 as we move to round 3 here. Round 3, A Chain going 5th overall or 4th pick in round 3. He was going a lot higher in some mocks that I was seeing, that I was doing on Sleeper. He was going early round 2. So to see him there is something. What's your thoughts on Malik Neighbors?
I think Malik Neighbors is a really talented running quarterback, receiver.
There you go.
But again, you can talk about Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You can talk about Justin Jefferson. I'd take both of those guys over Daniel Jones. So
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, he's getting so much hype, so much. I don't know. He's one of those guys where I avoided him.
who else? So he has Amon Ra, and then he went Drake London. Okay, so Malik Neighbors as his number 3. He might have one of the best receiving cores in the league right now.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I want to take a look at everyone's team after we do round three and maybe into round four here.
And
Um,
that was my reasoning behind Kamara and Jacobs. I got Hill, so I figured I was fine at quarterback. I love the third, fourth, fifth, sixth round quarterbacks. I just or receivers. I just thought there was
yeah,
receivers all over the board this year.
yeah. I mean, you look at round three here. I mean, Jake May starts it off with Nico Collins, and then Malik Neighbors. You're looking at Debo 32, Cooper Cup 33. This is where I like. This is where I start to love the wide receivers. Debo Samuel, Cooper Cup, Michael Pittman Jr., DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Devontae. Then you go into round four, Devontae Smith, Rashi Rice, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, um,
Say
Zay
Flowers,
Flowers,
Ridley,
Ridley,
McLaurin,
McLaurin.
Cooper, Higgins. I
Yeah,
had a big block of about
yeah,
10 guys. I said, I'll go running back. And then if I can get anybody from Nico Collins down to maybe even George Pickens, I was like, if I can get two of those guys, which I got Calvin Ridley and T. Higgins, I said, okay, well, my receivers are set now because that's my 2 and 3. If I got Higgins as my number 3,
yeah.
and I'm very happy with the way that turned out.
Now I'm just looking on myself here, and then we'll move on to kind of individual teams. Try to move through as quickly as
Yeah,
we
I
can.
think Cooper Cup in the ninth and the third round that can I think he's a lot closer. You talked about Jacobs going a little bit early or Kamara going a little bit early. I think Cup. I was thinking it was between for me it was between Cup and Jacobs, but like I said, there was 10 other receivers I liked. So I think you got a great receiver, but there was just so many.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, there was a lot there still on the board for me. I'm not definitely not reaching for him. He's really good. He was hurt last year on and off. He was a number first rounder last year. He's going to be fully healthy. The quarterback's back. I'm really excited about Cooper Cup.
Yeah, I think out of that whole cling, I'd probably take Nico before him,
Yeah.
and that's probably it. I probably put Cooper Cup as number 2, and then probably the neighbors, Pittman,
Yes.
Moore, Waddle, that and that. But I think you got a really nice
Yeah.
pick.
I want to touch on two things here. Matt Carter takes in round three. He takes, Patrick Mahomes, first QB off the board at pick 30, round three.
Red Lot 7A got him. I was looking at that
Yeah.
earlier.
And then right after him, a couple picks later, oh no, wait. No, I'm sorry. Where did, oh, Josh Allen was in round four. So
Yeah,
Mike takes in round three Mahomes, which in my league, usually quarterbacks go a lot sooner. I was surprised with the hold off on quarterbacks this year.
yeah. Well,
Um,
again, I thought there was a huge block of quarterbacks. I think I
yes.
got the very last one I was happy with, and I'm not ecstatic
Mm-hmm.
with Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's just so many younger guys this year. Things could come up, things could break certain ways.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
But I don't.
Go
So
ahead.
Mahomes is Mahomes, and he got a really fast team. Hollywood's not there. I think Kelsey probably take a step back, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Patrick Mahomes is a bad pick.
No,
The weird thing about Josh Allen to me is like he doesn't have a receiver on the board. His
no.
offensive line got worse. His running backs got worse. His running backs are probably the same. His defense got worse. Maybe that's good. He has to throw more to come back into games. But I was kind of nervous about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't hate Josh Allen. I mean, he's gonna run the ball, I think, more, so that gets you more points.
Yeah, I mean,
Does
honestly
take hits,
though,
but the offense, I mean, not a whole lot of weapons, but this leads me to my question of why I brought it up. He takes him in round four, and then in round five on the come around, he takes Kincaid. Do you think
mhm.
that's a reach right there?
So I always look at where it's going. Dalton Kincaid it might be a reach, but
Kelsey was off the board and Laporta was off the board in
yeah.
round
So
four.
that next block is Andrews. Andrews went late at the end of that round.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Andrews, McBride,
Yeah,
Evan
McBride went
Ingram,
to you.
Kittle. I mean, I don't know.
So I take Kyle Pitts out of it until he does it. I'm done with
I,
Kyle Pitts. I
I
don't. Joey took him.
yeah, he can have him.
Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram is good. I was kind of hoping to get Evan Ingram, knowing I was going to get Trevor Lawrence because no one else wants him.
Yes.
but then I got sniped, so I ended up with Christian Kirk. I wanted a connection to help
Yeah.
that Lawrence pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly,
That was
there's
one
no
thing
reason.
that kind of,
There's
was he just going for the matchup there?
Yeah, well, it
Um,
had to be because
you know,
there's no real
but
receivers in
no.
Buffalo. So if he has his number one target, that's
Yeah. And
that's what
that
I
leads me
tried
to
doing.
my next, that leads me to my next thing. I took Lamar in round 5. I think Joey and myself getting Lamar and Hurts in late
Hurts,
round
yeah,
5, I think was a little bit of a surprise, but they were, and with that 57th pick, I took Lamar, and I thought for sure I was going to stick with my Andrews Jackson's team name and get Mark Andrews in the beginning of round 6, but I think Tyler made a move to split that combo up. Um, I don't know if he was targeting tight end there. If he was, he took the best one available. But I thought I was going to either get McBride or Andrews. I wanted the Andrews Lamar connection again. I didn't get that, so I went to Trey McBride, who I love. So I'm pretty pumped about that. But anything else that sticks out to you in the draft?
just like round 6, this is where I got sniped from Red 7A. I wanted Deontay Johnson. I wanted Deontay Johnson, and then quarterback wise, I wanted Tua to package with Hill,
Yes.
but then I got sniped by Deontay in the 7th pick there, and then like I said, I figured okay, I'll go Ingram, and then Ingram went 10, so 11th I went Kirk, which gave me that opportunity to target, I guess, Lawrence
Yeah.
or Tua, and then Tua went in the 10th, so I had to get Lawrence in the 11th.
Yeah.
It
The
was
only
just
round I'm looking at here where I got sniped was round 7. I was going to load up on James Conner, Aaron Jones, and they ended up going 2 picks back to back, a couple picks before me. So I went with Lad McConkey. So we'll see.
the funny thing I'm looking at that sticks out is like round 9. That seems to be like the round of misfit players. Jordan Love's good pick. I like Jordan Love. I got Jerome Ford.
Yeah,
He's going to be good for a couple games. Singletary, he's not Barkley, so who knows how that goes. Nick Chubb, he's off the first few games of the season. And Joku, he's up and down. Gus Edwards,
yeah,
is he okay in a new offense? Jonathan Brooks, he's hurt for a few weeks.
yeah.
Zach Moss, he's in a new offense.
The
Ezekiel Elliott, he's back
yeah,
in an old offense, but he's
yeah,
100 years old.
yeah. That's a funny
Dobbins,
one
new
there.
offense. Chuba Hubbard, fill in until Brooks comes back.
Yeah,
That round 9 is super up in the air. It was pretty wild.
yeah. So just real quick, I don't know how much more time we have. We should have at least 15, 20 minutes, I would imagine. Let's try to touch base with everyone's team real quick. Let's start with we'll just go with the list of that ESPN did ranking wise. Let's start with Red Lot 7A, Mike
Yeah.
Germ. He came out of the draft with the best draft. Let's maybe say one or two things on his team really quick. Go ahead. What are your
Yeah, he has a
evaluations?
good team, and I felt he sniped me a couple times. I wanted James Conner, I wanted Deontay Johnson. I like D Hop in a couple weeks. Mike Williams, I don't love, but Algier, he's the handcuff to Bijan. So I think he has a pretty good team. The high end talent with Brees Hall, Patrick Mahomes, Harrison, Metcalf, and Godwin. He has a really nice base, good depth. Backup quarterback is good. Stafford. I think he has a good team. I do.
Yeah, just looking real quick at Mike's team. I like his bench. I mean, I think he has one of the deeper teams. Just with Mike Williams, he gets hurt a lot, but he's a nice piece to have on your bench. Tony Pollard can be a good bench piece. Algier is going to get some touches. In D Hop, I mean, you got Deontay Johnson, Godwin, D Hop, solid flex options. Marvin Harrison, I agree with you, might take a couple weeks. Metcalfs, he was going late. I think it's a lot with the quarterback. They might not be great, but I love Brees Hall. Connor was a dog last year. He only missed a few games, I believe, but which again will happen with him. But he's a touchdown guy. And Mahomes is Mahomes. I really like Mike's team. I don't know if I'd rank it the best in the draft, but he's definitely up there with just quality talent and depth was really good for Mike.
Mhm.
Let's move on to number 2 in the rankings. ESPN rankings was Cam the man Cam. Um, I'll start here. I love Kyler Murray. I think it was a great. I think he's going to be great. He should be full go running whatever. The running back position to me is a little shaky. No one was really high on Stevenson, but he did sign a contract there. He's going to be the guy. He's going to get touches. I think he's going to be a really nice RB2. James Cook, is he an RB1? The line isn't great. Is he a good pass catcher, good enough to be that RB1 touchdown scorer? Josh Allen at the goal line. I don't know. But I love Mike Evans and CD. That's a great duo. Zay Flowers, Jacoby Myers, Ingram. It's a solid team. It's a very solid team.
Yeah, I agree. Trey Benson could be a stud if when Connor gets hurt. CD Lamb's a superstar. After Evans, he has a lot of players on, bad offenses. James Cook, they're not known to run with running backs that much in Buffalo. New England's not a great offense. Arizona offense, I assume, gets better because Kyler's back. I agree with you. I do like Kyler. Then Vegas with Jacoby Myers, the Giants with Singletary.
Yeah.
Back to Arizona with Benson and Michael Wilson. He has a good team. It's going to be top heavy though. He's going to have to really rely on Kyler and CD Lamb, I think, to pull out big weeks for him.
I would agree. I do.
I think he could get a lot of wins, but I don't see him posting the weekly high score a lot. I'll say that.
Yeah, I could see that. I do think James Cook's going to be pretty solid. They did switch the OC last year and did get a lot better in the run.
Hmm.
Third overall here was out of the draft was Warren, Stone Cold Stunners. Um, take it away.
This is a team where I do think he can get high
Yeah,
score a decent
yeah,
amount. Taylor could take
yeah,
over games. Puka, we've seen what he can do. Debo is the gadget man. If Debo has one of his 40-point games or
yeah,
not 30-point games, it's big time. Kelsey and Diggs can, if they can return, actually Kelsey, Diggs, and Allen, if they
yeah,
return to what they were, that
yeah,
superstardom written all over them. Very solid quarterback with Stroud, and if that means Caleb can sit on the bench for a couple weeks and get acclimated to the NFL, maybe you make that switch later in the year, and have a trade chip. But Jonathan Brooks coming off his injury, he was the first running back drafted in the
yeah.
NFL.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good talent there, and I actually put a bet in on Darnell Mooney to go over 750 yards for Atlanta. He's done it every single year of his career, and this is the best quarterback he's ever had. So
Okay.
I think he's a sneaky option there.
Yeah, Warren's team's solid. I think so far out of the three we listed, I think he has the best squad. Stroud, I mean, they do have Mixon, which I do think he's a good goal line guy. But they're gonna air it out. They got weapons everywhere, all over the place. Everyone
It's a
knows
really
it.
dynamic offense.
Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Schultz. I mean, they're loaded. I don't hate Mostert. He's gonna get some touches. He ain't gonna score as many touchdowns as he did last year, but he's a serviceable back. Jonathan Taylor, I think big year. Nakua, Samuel, Kelsey, Allen, Diggs. I mean, he has a lot of high score boom potential here.
For
I
sure.
mean, any single one of those guys can go off for 30, 40. They can do it in the same week. I mean, you're going to see Warren. I'm going to say this, my prediction. He's going to win multiple high scoring weeks this year. I really like his squad.
I would agree with that.
Moving on to you, LB. Team batting lawn. Um, touch base with yours. I like your running backs, man. Josh Jacobs and Kamara, I think very solid. I like Josh Jacobs, man. He's a workhorse. He is an absolute workhorse. Kamara is solid in the run, but even better in the pass. You're going to get a lot of production out of him this year. I think they're going to use him a lot more. I think last year he had a lot on his plate. I think he was dealing with an early suspension, kind of nicked up a little bit, but I like Kamara. Obviously, Tyreek's Tyreek. I'm not big on Ridley solely because he's one of them guys. I'm not sold on the quarterback. Um, but Kittle is awesome. T. Higgins is awesome. I like Christian Kirk. Was solid last year for me. I think your big opportunity here is maybe Jerome Ford lighting it up early, and maybe they ease Chubb even when he gets back. He's still getting touches, and Eckler can be a solid piece if he's gets back to being Eckler. I
Yeah.
like your team. I actually do like your team.
Yeah, one thing I
Um,
did that I didn't love is I don't have much upside. I don't have any young upside. I have Tyreek Hill's
yeah,
older, Kamara's older, Jacobs older, Calvin Ridley. So I had him last year with
yeah,
Lawrence, and Lawrence stares at Kirk, and Ridley was open 80% of his routes, he still has that dynamic route
Yeah,
running ability. So I'm
definitely.
hoping he gets looks, but I also have Kirk, so that way
Yeah,
I can still work it. Higgins, I assume Higgins can have an early season blow with Chase missing all that practice
yeah,
and Ford early too. But like my bench, I have Ford, Eckler, Lockett, Shaheed. They're not young. There's no rookies. I
gotcha.
wanted rookies, and it just seemed like all the rookie hype went early, so I just kept taking. I never thought in a million years I was going to draft Austin Eckler, but he was
Yeah,
sitting
I
there.
don't hate the Eckler pick. I really don't. I think he can be a long term end of the year guy. I do see what you're saying. You know, Kittle older, Higgins older, Kirk's been in the league a while. You know, Hill's been in the league a while. Kamara, Jacobs. I get what you're saying, but I think all those guys though, they're consistent. I think you can really pencil in what they're going to do each week. So I think that can help you in a long year. Similar to Cam, I believe we said, don't see the high scoring maybe from you, but I think you're going to be consistently enough to win football games. And in this day and age of NFL football, you need to win games. And
Yep.
that's what I think your team can do.
Yeah, I agree. Hill could have a 3 touchdown game, but I don't
Yeah.
see Ridley having a 3 touchdown
Moving on to
game.
Tyler, real quick, the fantasy football team. I also really enjoy and really like his running backs. Barkley and Walker are really nice guys to have on the fantasy team. I really like them. I mean, Barkley's a running back, but he can catch. Walker is straight pound it down. He's going to get you touchdowns. I love that pick of Kenneth Walker. I was drafting him that round. Tyler scooped him, didn't get him. But I love his backs. I don't love his wideouts.
Yeah, he has
I'm not
a
not
lot of
huge on
questions.
Olave just because of the quarterback. I believe it's Derek Carr.
Par, yeah.
You know, not huge on Derek Carr. We got 10 minutes left. So we got to pick it up a little bit. But yeah, just I love the tight end. You know, Sutton, Watson, I like. Addison, he gets some shit cleared. Gabe Davis can be sneaky. J.K. Dobbins could be sneaky. I don't know. I like his bench. He has a lot of guys that could be consistent players over a course of the year. I just don't know. I think he might have some waves of up and down.
Yeah, his receivers don't scream superstars. Olave's never reached his potential yet. DJ Moore, I think, is a fantastic receiver, but now it's a quarterback situation. There's a crowded room. I think there he will get games
Yeah.
where he does blow up. Will be fine till he gets hurt also. I do like Sutton. I don't think there's any other receivers there. But then Dobbins, question mark, Addison, question mark, Thielen, question mark, Gainwell, question mark. I do like Gabe Davis
Yeah.
though. So we'll see how it pans out.
I might try to upgrade this, or do you think we can bang out a couple more?
I think we're halfway.
All right, let's move on to Joey. We'll make it quick. Joe batting. Love Hurts, love Pacheco. A lot of hate on White. I don't know. He was pretty productive in a Baker Mayfield offense. You know, the running back can be a big play. I don't know. I think he's going to be consistent all year. Chase is awesome. Rasheed Rice is awesome. Kyle Pitts is useless until he proves me wrong. I like the two flex options. I don't like Reed and Dobbs though on the same team as like a hey, who do I start? That could get him into some trouble playing the wrong guy. Don't love his bench, but I think his starting team is pretty solid.
I
Uh,
agree. Chase is
I think he has a top 14.
it's a good team. I think Rico Dowdle is probably a pretty good player. I think his running backs are decent. His receivers are pretty good if Rasheed Rice holds up his end of the bargain. But as far as number three, one of the Green Bay receivers, it's not going to be Quentin Johnson, I don't think. But
No.
with Jamar Chase, we'll see how long it takes him to really get going. See if his holdout affects
Yeah,
him much.
it might, but I mean he's a top tier athlete. I would imagine he comes out and puts on. All right, next is Carter. All these nuts. He obviously stacked his quarterback and tight end. I like it. I don't know about Kincaid, but who knows what they have. Um, you know, Najee's Najee. He's gonna get touches. You know, they got Jalen Warren, but they also got Cordell Patterson. Is Najee going to be anything in the pass game?
Yeah.
Is he just a first and second down back? I don't. You know, he's going to get goal line. I don't know. He to me, but he is in a contract year. Does he blow it up? Like just tear. I don't know. He's just a big question mark to me to be an RB1. Same with Aaron Jones. I mean, they're going to rely on the run game a little bit with that quarterback situation, but you have Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and you're going to get back Hawkinson. There's weapons there. I don't know how valuable he is in the pass game. Drake London, I think, is going to have a great year. St. Brown was his ceiling last year. Can he repeat last year? A little bit of a question mark to me. Neighbors, no quarterback. I don't know. That one, Malik Neighbors will be a big surprise for me. But I love Chubb. I love Corum. Um, I really like those two on the bench. I think Corum takes over towards the end, and obviously, I think when Nick Chubb comes back, he's just a dog.
Yeah, I really like his top five. Amon Ra, Drake, Neighbors, Allen with Kincaid is really solid.
Yeah, I do too.
Najee's the first question mark. Fetcher running back one.
Yeah,
Who knows? But then he has Aaron Jones as your running back two. Nick Chubb could eventually take over one. But I do like his bench as far as Shakir, Corum, and Luke McCaffrey. Um, there is upside there. That's a bench I would like to have a piece or two of.
I
Where
agree.
my bench is all veterans. He has a lot of young upside talent.
I agree. To me, Matt, he gets a week where Allen goes off, with St. Brown goes off, and Drake, and a running back does average, and maybe Allen, when Allen goes off, Kincaid goes off, he could win a high scoring, but I don't know. I just don't see the boom here.
It's going to be Kincaid, Josh Allen to Kincaid for two or three touchdowns, and then Almond Rock gets
30.
150 and two,
Yeah,
and
that's his high
it
scoring.
takes a lot.
That's his path to high scoring. Moving on here, Mark Germ, Marianne's favorite. Go ahead, you start this one. We got 5 minutes left.
Jefferson, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman, they were all superstars at one point of their career or another. The Pittman Anthony Richardson situation. I like Richardson if he can stay healthy. What I really really like is Brian Thomas Jr. I was working on him and I let him sit there a little bit too long. Um, but between Brian Thomas Jr. and Jamison Williams, I think one of those two really goes wild. But it's a decent team. There's not, Zamir White and DeAndre Swift. There's not a ton of running back talent. He tried to bounce that with Charbonnet and Wright. Who see what happens there. But
Yeah.
if Richardson stays healthy, he could be a top flight.
Yeah.
He could be he could be number one in the league. So
No, I agree. I mean, I love the connection with Richardson and Pittman. I think they're going to be a solid offense. I mean, Jefferson, Laporta, AJ Brown's awesome. I mean, that's just a great wide receiver core. Don't love the running backs. I don't know. He's going to have to get some touchdowns out of them to be, worth playing. In my
But I
opinion.
think he expects that when you go, your
Yeah.
first four picks are all pass catchers.
Yeah.
You understand you're going to have a weakness
100%.
at running back, and
100%.
hate and
I 100% agree. I don't hate the team. I think it's an above average team. But any one of those wideouts can go off. I mean, it's definitely a boom team, in my opinion, with those wide receiver opportunities. I do see him winning a few high scoring, especially with Anthony Richardson, and Michael Pittman Jr. combo. Let's move on here. We got 3.5 minutes left. We got to get through Jake May, me, Chief, and Paul. Moving on to Jake May really quickly. I had the number one pick, obviously CMC and Derrick Henry. I mean, he drafts them dudes 5 years ago. We're saying this league's bullshit. It's a hell of a combo 5 years ago. But what is Derrick Henry? Who
Derrick Henry's not a pass catcher, but you don't need to be with McCaffrey. He got Nico Collins, which is great. McLaurin, I like
I like
McLaurin way better as a
McLaurin with the
number
quarterback.
two. What's that?
I like McLaurin as a flex option.
Yeah. Which is fine. Cooper's decent. Um, Nico Collins is good. Jalen Warren's going to catch passes. Xavier Worthy, if he starts connecting with Mahomes, that's a problem.
Yeah,
I don't. There's not a huge. I really like Keaton Mitchell super late in the game to
yeah,
put on the IR spot because he was a stud last year, but he
yeah.
was a big speed guy coming off an ACL.
Mhm.
See how it works out for me as a solid team.
Yeah, I love Amari Cooper. Worthy, watch out with those two. I mean, McLaurin, Collins. I like the wide receiver. I think it's above average wide receiver group, top four in the league, in our league, wide receiver group. And I love the running backs. I mean, you're gonna get the goal line, you're gonna get touches out of Henry, you're gonna get out of CMC. Love was awesome last year. I think it's a good team. It's above average team. And you get a good game out of McCaffrey, Henry. I mean, you get boom opportunities with Collins, Mark Cooper has games. I like the team. Jake made good drafts out of the one spot. Moving on to myself. Go ahead, LB. You started off.
Um, Garrett Wilson should be good if Rodgers is healthy. I really like ETN, like I told you about Cup as a star. And then we look at like Trey McBride, Jaden Daniels, starting to look like a lot like my super flex league. So I'm okay with that. Um, it's a good team. If you get Lamar doing Lamar things, and then maybe Keon Coleman hits or Zach Moss blows up, I think you're right in the running with everybody else.
Yeah, I like my team. I didn't plan on getting Lamar. I ended up with Lamar. I'm happy with it. I like Lamar. But I got Jaden Daniels just in case he pops off. I can use one as trade bit. We got a minute 15 left. I like my team. I like ETN. I like Mixon. I love Cup and Wilson. I'm iffy on my flexes. I need one of them to hit. I'm hoping one of them has that every year wide receiver rookie goes off. So I'm hoping it's one of them. We got a minute left. Not to cut short, but we got Chief real quick. Couple question marks here. He got two good running backs. He went 12-13 running backs. I like the both of them. They're going to be good. They're going to get catches. Dak's a prove it, guy with CD. That's awesome. I love his flex options. Chuba Hubbard's solid until the other guy comes back. Schultz is a good option. Tua on the bench. He's deep. I like Waddle, Smith. They're both injury prone kind of guys. I don't know.
Yeah, with Waddle and Devontae Smith as his receiver and Tank Dell, that's a
We got
couple
less than a minute.
that's a couple number two and threes. The Roma Dunze is a good rookie. I think with Tua in the 10th round with a lot of other question marks, I think that was odd taking that second quarterback in the second round. But if Dak gets hurt or something, he has Tua right there.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely something I was